and we'll give it a go. Okay, good morning everyone. We're trying again to bring you the chocolate mousse, the salted caramel sauce and lemon icing. Just three toppings that you can use on or in cakes, or the chocolate mousse certainly by itself if you wanted to put it into ramekins and do it that way. So let's start with the chocolate mousse and show you how to do that. The recipe will be up on my website, tamsincochran.com. But I've started with the chocolate, and as you can see, actually, it's already melting on here. It's in a pan on water. The water is not bubbling furiously. It literally is just sitting there simmering ever so gently. And that's important. You don't actually want to get this pan boiling hot. We just want the chocolate to melt. I'm going to add some water into the chocolate because I need it to actually stay slightly runnier. So I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons of water in there and mix that round so that as the chocolate is melting here, yes, you can see. There's so many cameras going here and I'm just trying to make sure that you're still seeing everything. So as it's warming here, the water is reacting with the chocolate, but of course the water is going to stop it actually becoming quite so hard again anyway. And there's still a little bit of chocolate in there that isn't melted. There it is. So I'm just getting that, and if you can see that, that's very smooth. Let's actually move it that way. That's very smooth looking right now. I have not turned that one off and turned that one on. I was like, why am I getting hot? So I'm just letting that last bit of chocolate melt, and then I'm going to, in fact I can turn that off because it's done a nice job. So I'm going to I'll move the pan away. And although I've put, let me just double check, yes. I think you'll maybe find it easier. Let me move, that's everything ready there. I think you can see that. Let me just turn it slightly. Always terrified to touch any of this. There we go. That's the salted caramel stuff. Let's move it out of the way. So you can see that we've got the melted chocolate here. We're just going to let it cool slightly. And while it's cooling, we are going to actually, here we go. Can we see all this? Yes. We are going to get the eggs ready. So I'm going to crack 2 eggs and separate them out because I'm going to add the yolks to the warm chocolate. That just means if there should be any bacteria in the egg yolk, then obviously the warm chocolate actually is going to get rid of that. And that's generally speaking why we put it in warm. So and then the egg whites I'm going to whisk up any moment. There we go. So I'll put the yolks in there. So just use the eggshell to capture it all. Now what you don't want is any yolk to go in with your egg whites, or it will never whisk up. So that's quite important. And with our egg yolks, I'm just going to whisk that. So I forgot a fork, so sorry. I'm just going to whisk those up so they're actually, there we go, I want them to be runny. And then I'm going to actually mix them in nicely as well to my chocolate. You obviously want the chocolate to cool a bit. Otherwise, what will happen is, right, can you still see? Yes. What will happen if we don't let the chocolate cool a bit is it'll instantly cook the yolk. And seriously, we do not want to discover that when we're eating our mousse. Oops. There we go. So I'm just going to mix the yolk in ever so gently with, oops, sorry. I might have been picking up the pans rubbing together. There you go. So you can see the yolk is now all mixed in. And our next bit is to just whisk up our egg yolks. So I'm going to do that. You ready for a bit of noise? Let's there we go. And we're literally just going to add our yolks, add our whites. And I'm not going to use that chocolate last lick. I'm going to just get another one. Otherwise, I'm going to have lots of wasted chocolate in this pan as well. So let's get that into there for you. Move all this. And that brings us to having our egg whites. And we're going to fold the egg whites in because we actually want the lightness from the egg whites in our mousse. We don't want it, I mean, the mousse will end up fairly dense. We've melted some good old chocolate there, but so mixing it in, we're going to do very gently. Otherwise, what was the point in putting egg whites in there? So hopefully you can see just by folding it gently, we're keeping the egg whites. I'm not taking all that air out that we've just put in there. And I'm literally just folding it over ever so gently. I'm still using my last lick to do it. That's more because I don't really need lots and lots of washing up. But frequently, if we're folding egg whites, we'll actually use a metal spoon. There you go. It's all mixed in. And there is chocolate mousse made. So if I was going to serve that as is, I would now move it to ramekins to set. If I was going to use it as a filling in a chocolate cake, which is actually what this is going to do, and I will be making that video and putting it on YouTube tomorrow. So I'm actually going to leave it in this bowl. I'm going to put cling film over it so it doesn't go hard. And also I don't want it to attract any flavors that might be in my fridge. So we're going to cling film it, put it in the fridge and chill it. And normally I'd chill it for about an hour and then I would use it. But obviously I'm not doing the cake till tomorrow. So tomorrow I would get it out with a little bit of notice to warm it slightly before it's going on the cake. There you go, chocolate mousse. Nice, fresh. And the reason it comes under healthy is because you've made it yourself. You know exactly what's in there. There is no preservatives. It is just straight chocolate, eggs, and a little bit of water. There we go. Let's move on to the salted caramel. I'm just going to put this in the fridge. So can you see that pan? Yes, you can. As I head to the fridge, I'm just going to actually turn the heat up. Let's just have it on a single thing to high here. And I'm going to try and move that camera so you're just seeing a little bit more of the pan. And for the salted caramel, we are literally just putting the sugar into our saucepan. It's granulated sugar, and I'm just going to let it melt in there. So I will be showing you that as it goes. I'm going to put the mousse in the fridge, and while we're just waiting for that to melt, I'm going to quickly show you how to do lemon icing. Very tasty. So let's put this in the fridge. I'm forgetting to look at the other camera. Thank you. So I know I'm forgetting to look at this camera as well. Let's actually get a load of things together here. I could do the third camera, couldn't I? Coming over this. That'd be a little crazy for in this kitchen. Hot one. Right. I'm wondering how to get this just a little higher. That's letting you see it a bit better. How's that? We're seeing into the pan a bit better there, which is good. So I'm going to turn the handle that way. And I'm going to work here. I'm trying to work out where I can work that you're going to see what's going on. Not easy right now to work that out. Okay, so I will work right here, and we will move this camera a little bit more this way. How's that? I can see that it's showing you what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to turn this camera as well. You're like, what are you doing, Tamsin? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, to make lemon icing, it is as simple as lemon juice and icing sugar, or powdered sugar here in the States. And the reason I make it with the lemon juice is the lemon juice, the sharpness of that with the sweetness of the icing sugar really does complement. The other thing that I always do is, I actually use, let's bring that to that camera. Oh my goodness me. I'm actually going to take the zest off. So I'll do that down here, and you can see, yes you can, so I'll keep going, the zest off. Now I think it just looks so lovely when you're doing the icing or you're eating the icing, that it has the lemon zest. That is our cat Izzy, obviously thinking she should be involved. Pretty impressed the dogs haven't decided to bark, because I think they would. Right, here we go. I'm just taking 2 lemons here, and I'm fitting this in because I knew I had to wait for the sugar to melt, and that would be a pretty boring thing for you. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to make fresh butterscotch or salted caramel even. I know what I'm making today. Sauce. So, and it is easy. So we've got that going, and I'm just doing this. So I'm going to take the zest here, and I've literally just put it on a chopping board, and I'm using my rocker blade to just chop it. I want it fairly small because it's literally going straight into the icing, and it is a lovely flavor, but you don't necessarily want wads of it. So I think we're basically there. We're not going to get too worked up. At home, you can make it as small as you want to make it. So I'm going to add that into, there you go, into the bowl. There we go. And move them. There's a bit of a glare. I'm hoping you're seeing that better. So that's in there. I'm not measuring the icing sugar. I am going to carefully put the lemon juice in. So all I'm doing is I've got my icing sugar decanted into a container, and I keep a mini sieve in there. So I'm able to now just literally sieve the sugar. Is melting and browning beautifully, by the way. I will move the camera back any second to show you that. So there you go, and that's why we sieve, because clearly there's something in there. There it is. Now, oh my goodness me, that smell is divine. I'm just going to change the camera angle again so you can see, hopefully. Now, really, I shouldn't move it, so I'm going to get that back down. But there we go. Let's just speed that up slightly. My brain is telling me that the chances are, could you get me there's a small metal bowl in the fridge with cream in. It's already got the 4 ounces of cream. I can see that I'm getting very close to needing. See, this is what happens when you do 2 things at once. Thank you. So I'm just going to quickly keep going here. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. I'll bring it that way. Look at that. Nearly done. The smell in here is divine, actually, right now. I've got lovely lemon going, and I've got melted sugar, the caramel coming along nicely. Now I'm just letting it all melt. Obviously, it's burning at the same time. And that's what gives the caramel its color. I think we're about to move to doing the sauce and come back to the icing sugar. So let's just get rid of that and come to the icing sugar. I have not put the, there you go, that's all melted. Extractor fan on because it just makes too much noise. There we go. Right, if I show it to you that way, maybe if I hold it flat down. I'm wondering if all the smoke's in. But you can see that is looking great. And then we're going to add a fraction of the salt, like that. It does not need a lot. I'm just grinding in fresh salt there, Mediterranean sea salt. And I'm going to add in half the cream. It is going to object quite nicely. And I'm just going to mix that around. Once it's stopped bubbling like that, and it's accepted the cream in. We're going to put the rest of the cream and the butter in. And I think, yeah, you can see. It doesn't take long. And it has calmed enough now that I'm going to add the rest of the cream. And I'm going to add the butter. Not a lot of butter going in. I had a friend contact me yesterday about just trying to make butterbeer for a birthday party, a Harry Potter. And she knew she needed a butter flavouring, which obviously isn't as easy to find in Britain. So I told her to make some of this sauce. And that way she can use this instead of the variety of things that she was being asked in the recipe, because this will give that exact flavour that she wants. She doesn't need to put the salt in. We're doing salted caramel here, but she will not put the salt in. So it has multiple uses. There you go. That is your sauce done. And if it had still got some lumps in from when we added that cream, I'd put it back on the heat gently and just keep going. It doesn't. It's all nice and smooth. So I just need to put that into a sterilized jar, and it will thicken as it cools, but it will stay a pouring sauce to use on whatever you need. I am actually going to be putting it on a cake, a cinnamon crunch cake. So it's going to drizzle over the top, but you can put it on ice cream. You can use it on whatever you want, pancakes. So we'll move that to one side. All done, very quick and easy. And magically, we will finish off our icing sugar now. So all we're going to take now is our lemons that we took the peel off of. We're going to cut them in half. Since we're working on a chopping board, that makes my life very easy. And I'm literally going to move this back into camera and taking the juice out. Now, icing sugar does not need a lot. So we are going to do this very gently and then add. But what we do not do is put a lot in there. You are going to be working with teaspoons of juice when you're dealing with icing sugar or powdered sugar. You are not dealing with a big quantity. So as you can see, the zest is adding a nice, well, I'm hoping you can see, because I can see there's quite a glare on there. I think I have to turn it that way. That might help. Of course, I haven't been looking at my screen, so if any of you have asked questions, I will have a look at that straight after this and come back. My aim is to have someone do the blabs with me, so they're sitting signed in so they can actually answer questions for you. There we go. So that was not quite all the juice of half a lemon. So hopefully you can see how little liquid you need for icing sugar. And that's quite runny. I mean, it will harden slightly out in the air. But you actually, depending on what you're going to put it on, I most probably would leave it this runny to go on a muffin because it will go on quite thinly and set. But it does depend what you're going to use it for. Now, you could add a bit more icing sugar now if you needed to thicken it. You could obviously make a bigger batch as you need it. That is your choice. So there you go. We have done 3 different things this morning, and none of them took very long. And the reason I'm saying they're healthy, even though it's chocolate mousse, we're using icing sugar and we're using, totally forgotten, the salted caramel. is because you made them yourself. There are no chemicals, there's no artificial colours or flavours or preservatives in there. You did them yourself. They did not take long, and they're really delicious, and your house smells delightful when you do it. Thank you for watching, and I will be back. Remember, every Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock I have a blab scheduled, and I'm pretty sure I have a blab scheduled for the 6th of February as well to do the beignets, to show you those. So thank you very much, and speak to you all soon.